we go again. Your thoughts on another year?
Yeah, great time. Excited to be here. It feels like it wasn't too long ago when October 15th was the first day that we were allowed to practice. But just been a good preseason so far. It was a very good summer, and really love this group of guys.
What do you think about the early? It feels like an earlier start time. It's not even October yet.
Yeah, I think this has just been the trend in college basketball here for over the last 10 years or so, moving it back when they changed some of the rules on how many practices you could have before your first game. But to be honest, it's become a year-round thing in college basketball now. So just excited that we're here and we're getting closer to tip-off.
What are some of the things you're really excited about this particular team?
Well, this is a really coachable group, and you guys know how much I love last year's team, and I think we've been able to continue. This coaching staff has done a great job through recruiting, bringing guys in that just understand what our program's about and understand some of how important coachability is. So I love that so far, and I like the size of this group. I've never hid the fact that we were trying to become a bigger team, play bigger, and I think we have legitimate size right now at this point.
Coming off last year's team with all the success and winning record, how do you challenge this year's group to replace some of that scoring leadership?
Yeah, as far as trying to replace scoring, we haven't talked about that as much as we've said, hey, there's a standard that we want to have. No different than we started in year one to try and set a standard year two, year three. I think we elevated it last year, and I think these guys understand, led by the returning guys, Jordan Riley, Jay Woodard, Trevi LeBeau, Reed Kaysen. They understand because they were a part of it. And now you have new guys coming in that we're going to really, really count on. But those guys really know the foundation of what the standard was last year, and we hope to elevate it this season.
Knowing the early schedule is tough, so the approach the preseason any different? You guys got to be, operate at a pretty high level.
No, that's a great point, but no, we don't. I think it doesn't matter what our schedule is. It doesn't matter who we play. When we get into scrimmages here in a few weeks, we'll be scrimmaging. We want to be at our best, as quick as possible. But we know it doesn't work like that. Like who we are today is going to be different than who we are in a few weeks and who we are in a month. Yeah, we know that the schedule is challenging. We wanted that, but bottom line is we approach it the same way. We got to just try and get better every day so we can be at our best as quick as possible.
The old days of building success, coming off a winning season, the old days of building success, different now with remaking the roster so much. How can you use even last year's momentum when building a roster now?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the standards. I don't think we think of it as hey, we have everybody back, but we have a good group of the guys back. And Jordan Riley, again, for the third consecutive year, we have our leading scorer returning that had eligibility remaining. And I think that says something about our program, about this university, this coaching staff, just this team, what we're trying to build here, that whether it was R.J. Felton or Jordan Riley returning, that we have not lost our leading scorer for 3 consecutive years. So that being said, I think, again, it just goes back to standards, that returning group. And what I have learned now going into year 4 is this, that everything's not going to be right in August, September, October. This is a puzzle that we're putting together, and seeing the big picture, I think, is a big part of this.
How does official practice differ from some of the workouts and that kind of thing you guys have already been doing? Or is there a difference?
No, that's a really good point, Brian, because one thing that we try and do as a coaching staff, and again, I think our coaches do such a great job, is that we don't want June, July, and even September to feel like official practice. So we really try and vary how we do things. Now, you work on a lot of the same stuff. The biggest difference, truthfully, is just time. We go from a 4-hour practice week to a 20-hour practice week when you get in a season. That's an NCAA, a rule. But we do try and change what we do in the preseason, in the summer, to now. There will definitely be more live play now, more scrimmage settings now. There'll be a lot more maybe execution to special situations, scouting as we get closer to playing games. We don't want it to feel like that year-round because you don't want that burnout. So we try very intentionally to change the feel, but the biggest real difference is the time that you're allotted with the team.
Who really stood out to you so far early on in the workouts and stuff?
Yeah, I think some of the guys, again, in our fan base and in Pirate Nation will get to know Gio and Majuru. A true big. We talked about we want it to be bigger this season, and Gio definitely allows us to be bigger. And our fans had the chance to see him one time last year in a game when he was in here when we played George Mason. But Gio has really had a good preseason. Corey Calker, another new player that our fans will get to know, that people haven't seen yet, but a point guard out of Eastern Florida Community College has had a really good preseason. And then, you know, the foundation guys, Jordan Riley, Jay Woodard, and Trevi LeBeau have all had good summers and preseasons.